Hi guys, welcome to another episode of EPMA, Everybody's Personal Makeup Artist. Today I'm feeling a little bloated and a little hormonal and a little tired and I have a little cold, so it's a real doozy of a day. But as you can see, I have a lot of cystic, like hormonal acne right now. I'm showing you it all. I have actually one up here too, popped in. You know, once a month, sometimes you get a little visitors. Sometimes they bring their friends. You never know what's gonna happen. Being a woman is chock full of craziness. Literally. I had a comment from N. Berlin that said, "Hey Jamie, thanks for the series. I'm 37 years old and struggle with the second signs of aging. Haha. I'm also fighting cystic hormonal acne. What? Yes, and it's freaking me out. If you have some tips and tricks to calm and hide these bumps, I would be so thankful." So, I'm gonna do my best to kind of wake up my face and hide my zits without caking on the makeup. Let's do this. So the first thing I'm gonna be using is this Zio Medical by Zen Obaji. He's a doctor here in Beverly Hills. Woohoo! This is a serum. This is a normalizing serum treatment for red sensitized skin. So what I usually do is take like 2 pumps of this, and when I'm feeling like super ruddy and just I feel like really inflamed, I take a little of this, warm it up in my hands, and then just kind of put it all over my skin. So I'm just like layering a little bit of calmness on my skin. I mean, being a woman, man, isn't it crazy? Like, I'm an old lady and I have teenage acne. It's crazy. So I let that settle in, and then I grab my primer. There's a lot of primers to choose from in this world, am I right? Since I'm not going for like a super glam look, I don't need a lot of dimension, I'm really just gonna pick a complexion primer. This is a Shine Control Pore Minimizing and Mattifying De-Slick Complexion Primer from Urban Decay. So I'm just gonna take my brush and just apply it all over. It smells good too. I'm even gonna put a little under my eyes because my eyes, because I have this like really little cold, it's a very light cold, like a diet cold, I just feel like my eyes are so dark and I look tired. So it's important to let that dry. Now this actual primer, you can feel it like tightening your skin, which is a good thing in this case because I feel like when your skin is not behaving, everything feels really loose and out there and like blobby and like open. Am I right? Can I get a what? What? So this is like kind of tightening everything. It's almost like if you were to take an ice cube and like put it on your skin. So that's why I really like using this when I'm having a moment with my skin, and not a good one. Next, I'm gonna go for a very lightweight foundation that has nice coverage and that is like pretty natural. And I'm using the Juice Beauty Phyto Pigments Flawless Serum Foundation. So I'm just gonna use a couple pumps of that. This is a little tanner than I would normally choose, but I wanna kind of wake my skin up a little bit. Gotta get my beauty blender ready. Just spraying a little of this floral mist. Sometimes I mist it with this because it makes me feel better because this floral mist smells super, by Sicily, smells super floral and like rosy. So I'm just gonna apply a little foundation all over. You can see on my neck like how different the color is, but it's okay because on the actual skin it looks pretty good. Now, sometimes my zits are like fine. If I do like a layer of foundation, like it covers them a little bit. And I'm sure on this camera it makes it look like they're totally gone. But like within very little time, they are exposed again. So even up here, like it covered it for a second. So it's like you really do need to go in with the defense. You need to bring out the big guns when you're covering zits. You have to get detailed at it. Now I will say this, I used to work with a client that had very bad acne, and you'll never know who it is because we used Temp 2 airbrush and it totally covered beautifully. But I know that a lot of you don't have airbrush. If it's something that interests you, let me know below and we can always do a great video on that. But for now, I just want to do just like OG. Alright, so I already look a little bit more awake because this is like, again, tanner than I really am. And I love it. And I feel it like really adhering to the primer. So you know it's working. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack the problem, the zits. Taking this is a Smith 304. I've used this for lip, and I've used it for zits, and I've used it for under eye. So you can, this brush is kind of a great brush to have. I have a couple of them. So the first thing I'm going to do, and this is going to sound crazy, is I'm taking the Urban Decay Primer Potion in Enigma, which has a darker tint to it. It's tinted. It almost looks like a concealer. Okay, and I'm going to place it on my zits. Why, you ask? I'm priming them, and then they're going to take on the world. Okay. So I'm just using a little of this primer because, believe it or not, once the primer dries, it'll actually hold your concealer in place longer. It was just something I tried one day and it worked. These, you know, primers for the eyes are a little tackier and a little thicker than like a face primer, so they actually work. Okay, so when I'm just like getting up and like going to drop Lenny off at school or going to the market or working out or something, what I actually will take is like Murad makes one, I think Proactive makes one. This is also Zayn Obagi. It is a acne treatment concealer. So it covers and it makes you feel, it like heals at the same time. So it's like a 2-in-1. I love these. Keep this in my carry-on, in my purse when I'm out and about because then I can just touch it up. So I think it's great to have, and there's many different types of them. They're all great. They all have like either salicylic or benzoyl peroxide. So if you're sensitive to some of those, you might have to be careful, but just FYI. Cover Effects makes these little concealers. What I love about it is they also make this click stick. So this is actually a lip color. It's super natural. I think it's a lip and cheek. I'm gonna put a little on my cheek. And remember, if you have acne on your cheeks, putting a highlighter is a bad idea. So you would like to be more mattified on your cheek, okay? You'll add texture to it if you highlight it. And so then I can stick it back in my thing and then push out the concealer. Okay. So now everything is totally dry. The primer's dry, and I'm gonna go on top of it and like, and I'm gonna use my finger and use this brush to like blend it in perfectly, and it's perfect. Unfortunately, if you are a picker, and you know who you are, we're all so guilty of it. The more you pick, the harder it is to conceal because you open them up. You open them up to, like, sometimes they'll bleed or they're just wet, and it's very hard to cover wet. So what I suggest is that you just try to let it go. I know it's so hard, and if you don't want to let it go, go get a facial because they will use all the right stuff to like make sure that it doesn't get bad. So the thing about dealing with cystic acne is like when it's a texture, like a bump, there's really not much you can do to hide it. So the best thing is to just take the color out of it, which was the red, and then we're going to use a mattifying powder. Okay. The other thing is when you're dealing with these small little areas, don't use big brushes. Use small little detailed brushes. So little detailed to like cover your finger if it's clean, your beauty blender if it's clean, because putting like bacteria on bacteria is just going to prolong the issue. And then when we're setting the imperfections, we're going to use powder with a small brush. So I'm just going to use a little bit of this Laura Mercier powder. And I'm not going to put too much on it because I don't want it to be like super heavy. So it's literally just a light dusting. And what I'm going to do, because sometimes you can see a little bit of the white powder, I'm going to take a bronzer. This is just the IT Cosmetics Sunshine in a Compact, one of my faves. This is a brand new one. I just got it. I'm going to put it in my kit, but before I put it in my kit, I'm going to put it on myself. This. Now remember, these are all Urban Decay by Skindinavia. Someone was telling me to use the Skindinavia, and these are actually hybrids. Just a little bit. And then come under here and just warm it up so you don't see any of the white powder. Now also when you're feeling tired, I like to just, if you're not wearing any eyeshadow, put a little bronzer on your eyelids. just makes you look a little healthier. Then at the end, if you want, we talked about this before, but there's so many. I wanted to show you guys some more. This is the All Nighter, a makeup spray that's long lasting. This is the Urban Decay Chill Makeup Spray for cooling and hydrating. And then this one is the makeup setting spray for oil control. So usually when you have a lot of hormonal breakdown, you have an oil issue. Look, I haven't even done my brows yet. Here we go. Jacqueline's asking if we've tried the Cover FX Illuminating Spray. I have not. And the Fix Plus, which I think you're talking about the MAC versus the Pixie. Pixie's a little bit lighter. The Fix Plus is heavier. I love the Fix Plus. I use it a lot, especially when we're shooting outside. It really makes everything stick. So thanks, Jacqueline. Put my bangs back down. Got my Glossier sweatshirt on. There's really not much going on here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this because now my skin looks like so much better. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Let me know how you feel. Also, thanks for all the love and all the comments. I love it, guys. I try to get back to you. Sometimes I sit down and do like a million answers back. Not really. It's like 50 answer backs, and then I get like 50 more comments the next day, and then sometimes I get back to them and sometimes I don't, so don't get mad at me, please. I'm trying my best, but I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys soon.